everyone, and welcome to Christine Means Business, the podcast for creatives, online entrepreneurs, and coaches who want to either start or grow a business online. And so welcome today. My name is Christine, and I'm here to share wisdom, tangible tips. And because my brain is limited, it's fairly awesome, but it is limited, I always invite an absolutely wonderful guest to squeeze their brains as well so that you can get the most knowledge possible. And so today we have Dean Soto with us, and we're going to talk about something that I'm really excited about because I, as you probably as well, have big dreams, but at the same time, I do not want to work a lot. So scaling the smart way, I think, is something that we cannot start talking early enough. So Dean, welcome to the podcast. I hope you're well. And I would love for you to quickly introduce yourself, your company, what you do, and maybe if you can remember the click or aha moment where you knew this is what I have to do in the world. This is what I want to focus on.
Yeah, no, thanks, Christine. It's so awesome to be here. Yeah, the long and the short. So I run a company called Sulum, Prosulum. I'm not a brander. It was the worst marketing ever, but somehow it worked out.
That's hilarious. I love it though that it's like, this is the worst thing, but it works. It's enduring. That's how I would remember it. You know, the guy who's not a marketer, it doesn't have anything to do with what he does. I remember.
Totally. But yeah, so essentially what we do is we bridge the gap between building systems and outsourcing. So you can't outsource well or delegate well without having systems, and you can't really develop systems unless you have people to follow them. And so we have people overseas who are, they're below minimum wage in most countries, most states, especially here in the United States. And what they do is they take what you show them. So you might do a 5-minute video. They'll take what you show them, document the whole thing into a step-by-step process, and then they'll actually do it for you as well. So you'll never have to do that thing ever again. So the aha moment was actually, I had been outsourcing for a long time, since I want to say 2007. And I just was always running into the fact that I would be training for 3 to 6 months, and then the person would leave, and then I have to do it over again. And then I just wasn't a really good delegator at all. And I had, out of necessity, I don't like selling physical products online, but out of necessity, I built this Amazon dropshipping business in 2015, 2016, and got it up to about $1.6 million per year. And how that happened was I was working like crazy with that thing, and I finally ended up outsourcing again and losing people just like I normally do. And I read this book called Work the System by Sam Carpenter, and he's like, you need to document everything. And I'm like, this sucks, but I'm gonna do it.
It's like, no, it's like the thing that we all try to avoid. It's like, it's boring.
Totally. It's like, it was just, but it was magical at the same time, because I was like, okay, I spent 2 days on this one thing that was just so annoying, and I gave it to my person and they did it. And I was like, wait, you don't have any questions? You don't have any? They're like, no, we're good. And I'm like, this is awesome. And
Freedom.
so that's where it was like, oh, cool. So how can I make this faster? And then it came up with the idea of just recording what you're doing and then having them take, they don't even need access. You can have them take screenshots of the video of what they're doing. And so now I can just do it in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, tell them what I want to do, and I'd never have to do that thing again. And it works with anybody, employees, over whatever,
That's awesome. It makes so much sense. I mean, at the moment, we're kind of hijacking it and kind of winging it with Loom videos and things like that. And I mean, the funny thing is that the way that I stumbled into doing that was because I actually enjoy the geeky stuff. And so, being a YouTube person, I'm technically still a millennium. I was born in 83, but I don't really consider myself a millennial. But I remember old phones, with a dial, and having no mobile. But at the same time, it was the MySpace era, the IRC chat room. So I grew up with the tech stuff. So I enjoyed it always. So when I started doing my online business, it was a thing to do YouTube tutorials. And so I would just, once I got it down, I would just record it in hindsight with, I would probably post it on YouTube. I actually haven't, like, and it's stupid of mine because whenever I do, it actually gets fairly good reach. But so I had this whole library of things that I never posted. But when I onboarded my first assistant, I was like, well, actually, I have a video where I walk through it. So I did it without knowing, and I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say in front of people, extrovert, but I love talking through something on camera, like, you know, then you click here and then you do this. But I know
Totally.
that's what I love doing. So I really get it that there's a lot of people who don't and who can barely figure it out themselves.
Yep.
So who usually is like, what do you see people most struggling with, and how do they even get to the idea that there is someone who can do this for them? Because I find, you know, most of us are not born an entrepreneur thinking even about scaling from the beginning. So how can we make them maybe more aware of this? Because I feel you have people in the bottleneck situation and it gets too much and they don't really know that there's so much more to do. So how did you come up with this in terms of how do you get in front of those people? How can we make this message maybe clearer? That would be doing some good in the world.
Yeah, it's funny because like, you know, one of the big tenets of your podcast is that, you know, you're building a business of love and passion, you know. And what I was running into, and what I see a lot of my clients run into all the time, is that their business is literally just like the biggest stressor in their life. Like it is, you know, they're putting out fires all the time. They are you know, they're wanting to be creative. They don't have the time. They're maybe plateaued in their business, and it's understandable because a lot of the times they're holding in things that they think that it really falls into a couple categories, but a lot of the times they think that they're the only ones who could do something, like they've gone to school for this, or they've gone you know, they've learned all this stuff and only they can do it. Or they're like, you know, hey, I just want to tell this person what to do and go do it, and every time I do it, it fails and I have to do the work again, so I might as well do the work again.
Yeah.
Or even with the videos, this is one of the reasons why with videos, like actually documenting the videos is, you know, they'll do a video and then they expect this person to go and watch the video every single time they do that task.
Oh, okay.
You know, like it's like that's where I was actually having a big problem with my drop shipping. I would say, okay, I had a course called Dream Drop Shipping where I was going step by step through everything, and I just give it to the person. They're like, okay, and they would start asking me questions, or they couldn't do it because they were like at a McDonald's. Think of it like at a McDonald's, the person who's doing the burgers isn't going to press play on a video and watch and then go,
Yes.
oh wait, was that 15 seconds? Or so
Yeah.
documenting is like, so all of this, what I'm kind of getting at is like, is that to me, everything comes down to two things. One, 99% of what you do, somebody else can do. That 1% is the high value stuff that only you can do. And then two is everything needs to be documented. Everything. It can be a video or whatever, but everything needs to be documented from that video or something like that, because what it allows the person who's doing it to do is print it out, put it on their desk, or have it in another screen like over here, and you know, see it as they're doing it and stuff. And it's boring, it's not sexy, but eventually you'll see it's like it brings so much more. It allows you to have so much more passion and joy because you're now strategic, you're now creative and so on in your business. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense or not.
No, it does. It does. So let's concretize this a little bit more for people who like, okay, I get the point, but I don't even know where to start. What would be some typical tasks that people might not even think of? I'm pretty sure that, you know, when they probably reach out to you, you might tell them, have you thought about this element of your business or this element? Because I think some things are more natural, like creating graphics or maybe creating show notes. Those are things I think that people can let go of easily. What are some blind spots? What are some things that I hadn't even thought about that you encounter?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll give it like the most highly effective one, especially for service-based businesses. So if you're running an agency of any sort, so bookkeeping, it could be digital marketing, it could be if you're in any type of service business. One of the biggest, it's funny because it doesn't sound like it's this like the sexiest thing, but it's the one that everyone falls into. I fell into it as well. Is it's actually two things. One, so when you're in a service-based business, you're out there getting customers, you're spending time doing that. Well, once you get a customer, what happens? You now have to service that customer. So now you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go help with this project, do this. Now I can't go and now I
Mm-hmm.
can't go and get new customers or anything like that. So it's
Yeah.
this constant like back and forth plateau that happens. So one of the things that I've seen that's super successful is having someone who is actually outsourcing the uh the, the proposal slash admin portion. There's this portion in that flow where, like, for example, Andrew, he runs a digital agency. He goes and does makes sales to like Sirius XM radio and all these like really big places. Once he makes a sale, he actually just records like an audio, or he records a video real quick, just saying, hey, because he had already created a process for what he's about to do. He says, hey, they want to do social media. They want to do this, 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 and this. So then he just sends it to his people. They actually have a whole process of almost like a Mad Libs, inputting everything into a proposal. Boom, boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom, boom. They send it off to the customer, the client, the prospect. Follow up with the client and prospect and so on. And when the client pays and signs, now it actually goes to them again to get the customer onboarded and so on and so forth. And then Andrew, once again, eventually steps in to the creative and gives the ideas and stuff. So the hours that are spent in that administrative portion actually are done by somebody else. So he's able to just continue to sell, boom, boom, boom. And then
Mm-hmm.
he can do the creative thing, which is only like an hour
Yeah.
in with one client, So um it's one of those things where we tend to be bottlenecks in these things where we think we're the only ones who can send a proposal because we heard what they want, and so I'm going to go and spend an hour writing up this proposal or 2 hours writing it up, when you don't really have to do that. You can have little templated
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I think if you have a good CRM, it already takes care of some of it. So I use Dubsado, for example, but there's lots of different ones. But actually having someone, and for Christine Meets Business, I still do some of it manually because I do it whilst I'm still on the phone. Like I literally have it open and I just launch one work process and it's done. But I know that for Sleep Like a Boss, we had protocols, we had different supplements that we would recommend. And so I just left a voice memo to my assistant and was like, it's protocol A, protocol B, and then they would do the whole Google sheet that I just hated doing. It's not that they were trained in it, but they knew that when I said, yes, parasites, they would add this product and then this product. And because those were things that I really didn't want to do. And you're right. You think you have to do it, but actually, no, it's always the same and the same and the same. So if
But
someone gets started out, what are some tools that you recommend them using?
yeah, it's a great question. So I'm always hesitant to suggest tools, which I will, because the biggest thing first is mindset, right?
Mm.
So just like you said right there, like, it is so hard for people to do what you just said, of, if they have parasites, put this into, their proposal or estimate or anything like that. Like the biggest thing with any type of scaling is seeing that that everything is that you're doing is a system, no matter what. Everything is a process. And so um a lot of clients, they're like, hey, should we use this tool, should we use that tool, whatever. Sometimes I'm like, you have a system right now. Why don't we document what you have right now? It's a crappy system, but it's totally working right now. So and yeah, I had this one guy, his name Matt. He's oil, he's in the oil and lubrication business in Oklahoma. And he was doing like this what was it? It was like truck dispatching or whatever. It was taking him like 3 hours to do just this one process. And he's like, yeah, I was gonna buy this $50,000 tool and whatever. I'm like, dude, let's just document it. Your system really sucks. Let's get someone to do that for you who's like a tenth of what you're getting paid, And it ended up working to where now he actually started two other businesses because he was able to step away and be more creative.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is this, like, to understand that like everything you're doing is a process. And it might seem complicated or whatever, but just like an iPhone, every little app, the reason why it works so well is because every time you go to Instagram, it's going to do the exact same thing. It's all a process. But the phone itself if you didn't have all of these little apps that had little subsystems and everything like that, its phone's worthless. And it's those little subsystems that are really important. And if you master each one of those little subsystems, the whole system as a whole, the phone becomes a work of perfection.
So, and that's something that I quickly want to touch upon, because I think some people also don't realize that. And because we're not taught this, like specifically this now, maybe they're taught this in school, but it's different skill sets. And some brains just have a very easy time to take a bucket of mess and to see systems. I think I'm probably medium. Can I do it? Yes. Do I enjoy it? No. So I would not consider it my zone of genius. It's like something I can do. And sometimes, I need to put my big girl pants on. I'm just like, okay, I'm the boss, CEO, here's my vision, da, da, da. But there are also people who genuinely are not good at this. And it's not that they're not smart. It's just your brain works differently. And it's none of your business to try to do this. So that is also something that I just want to throw out there. There's no shaming here at all. It's just we are wired differently. And so it makes total sense to hand your bucket of crap to someone who actually enjoys going through that. I mean, I just hired someone to go through all my funnels, through all my analytics, and just tell me where is the leak in the bucket? Like where is it not converting? Where are we losing traction? Just tell me where. And then if you can, a suggestion. Because could I do it? Sure. Do I want to? No. Hence, I procrastinate. Like I've had this on my to-do list for like a year, and I was just not doing it because I didn't want to. So finally, I'm the kind of person who says, let's throw money at this and just have it done. So
I love it.
that is something where I would ask you, if you have someone coming in and they're literally like, okay, it's somehow working. How do you approach helping them to systemize this thing? What would that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I promise we'll get to the tools as well.
Oh, sorry, it's
Totally my bad.
Something new.
Yeah, no, it's like what you said is really, really true. I mean, there are things like, your last podcast, I guess, at least that the one that was the latest from what I heard on the 29th, she is an accountant. I hate numbers. And I tried so hard to learn how to reconcile things on QuickBooks. And I eventually was like, I'm done. There's no way. I ended up having to pay like someone to go back like 9-10 months to catch up all my stuff. And I'm just like done. Yeah, you're right. Some people don't have that type of brain. It's one of the things that we try and bridge is that like that's the reason why we do the video thing is, and even with that, I would say 10% of people, maybe 5% of people don't like have a hard time with that as well. But you're doing something anyway right now. Literally all you have to do is record it. It can be via Loom, or it could be via even Zoom. You get on a Zoom, just record on Zoom, or whatever it is that you want to do. And you're just talking through it, just like as if you were training an employee or training grandma. Like we want grandma to be able to do it, And so that's why we really push toward video. When that doesn't happen, that's the way that I've personally with us scaled things was that we have account managers who will literally get on a Zoom with you and
Yeah.
ask you. So like Matt that I mentioned before, it's funny, he couldn't make a video on
He
his
didn't
own.
even know what one step was, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
People don't necessarily know this is a process, like for them, it's one big blob. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that you don't see it. It's a color blindness. It's just, you don't
Totally.
see it. So yeah, I would reckon that you have the option of someone actually asking questions and
Yeah. Well, and
detangling.
exactly. And that's then so I got on a call with him and literally just said, okay, so like show me how you do XYZ. And he's like, well, first I go here. And then I was like, you couldn't do that on your own. But when I asked him, literally just by asking the question, he was able to do it.
Yeah.
But I totally get that, because just like you said, when I have a hard time dictating a book, but if I have a ghostwriter, if I have someone asking me, it's so much easier.
That's what we're doing right now. It's like,
Yeah.
I hate writing. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. So I'm launching a book in January 2022, and it's based on another podcast that I have for 2 years. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to take those notes and just type them. So I had a ghostwriter, and a lot of it was voice memos, literally. And I still do it for my cornerstone blog posts that are like 3,000 words or so. I have a framework, and then I just talk it, and I have someone that I pay quite well who writes the thing. But for me, it is worth it because, first of all, it's really something I want to share. It's valuable. SEO wise, it's brilliant,
Yeah.
and also I'm a contributor for Entrepreneur. Do I want to write those articles? No way. Do I want to get them published for backlinks? Yes. So sometimes it's really about knowing what you can do which way. And to me, it's definitely audio and video. I have a really hard time writing it. It's not that I can't, it's just that I don't, again, to me, it's a joy factor. When I don't enjoy it, I procrastinate, it won't get done. It will get done half-assed with 5,000 typos, because I don't think there's a single Instagram post out there that doesn't have a typo, because I really don't care. So it wouldn't even be really good. So I think it's also encouraging people right now to just really analyze as well what you don't enjoy and have that go first. Like what you don't enjoy, what drains you and you're not good at. That would be priority number one. And then sometimes you can still do, like, sometimes I do like myself a good website session, where I edit my own things and where I change the copy, and it's on the weekend when I just enjoy going in there, and then everything is different afterwards.
Totally.
But I enjoy those things. I would never do it if I didn't. So I think that's probably the first take, like do that first and then work your way. And I think I talked to someone last time, and they were like, everything you outsource, for everything, record how long it takes, because that time should then be replaced by what you have to do, which is client acquisition. Like, I don't like the word because it's so, acquire, it's like, it's not a thing, but shining your light to new people to see you, let's put it that way, and that makes sense. You will have so much more time to do that. So I think sometimes that helps to not feel as, I don't need this, is an unnecessary kind of step, but no, you will give more people the chance to actually find you and for you to serve and make their lives better. So I think that can help people who have issues with outsourcing.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. That's the biggest thing for sure, is getting that one like monkey off your back, like the one thing that you absolutely hate the most. And sometimes it's super small. Like I have one guy who he's a client, Michael, who does Thursday. So that's one of the things is I live pretty much a 4-hour work week. And so I'm pretty open. And so like, I'm spending an hour with him. Literally, he's in kind of like, he's a CPA, and he just wants to get his email, a process to filter out his email. And
Mhm.
so I'm just like, okay, I'm going to be hopping on Zoom. Show me what you do. Okay. I'll sit there, let him do it, have his VSA document it, and then have them actually do it from then on. And so he never has to do it again. But it's that one thing that, when you, like you said, when you're letting them take that burden off of you. So now you're, not only do you have those extra hours, you have so much more joy and focus to do things that you like. And if you don't like client acquisition, now you have the creativity. This is what happened to me. You have the creativity to, because I hate numbers. I hate like figuring out how to set up scalable revenue and return on revenue and all this other stuff. But my partner Gonzalo, he loves it. Like he's like that's his thing. Like, and but I would not have. I basically got enough breathing room to where I was like, hey Gonzalo, you want to work with me? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, great. And have him go do that. And he likes client acquisition, quote unquote. How, he likes that. And so now I'm just like, okay, how can I help my clients? So I just,
Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm sick. It's really exciting. Like we're October now, and we're doing a reframe on our business where, yeah, we scale. Like we work with Facebook ads and things. And I'm taking my partner into the boat because he's just this analytical thing. Like he's just like, well, da da da, and it's like,
yeah.
I don't know how long. I think it will probably take us 5 minutes before we have our first epic row. But in the end, I was like, this, if you leave me the creative vision, like I'm the CEO, don't forget.
Yeah,
The
totally.
creativity is mine. But if you just tell me objectively with numbers, I am reasonable, like I can listen, So,
Totally.
but it's true. It could be magical. We shall see. Or I'll be leaving someone else very soon. We'll keep you posted. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. So I think a lot of people will probably be very keen on having you help them in detangling their non-existent processes or processes that they didn't know they did, and then help them, to have someone get this done for them. So the website and all of it is going to be in the show notes. So everyone, just so that but it's you pronounce it Sulum.
Sulum. Yeah. SUL.
Sulum.com. So sulum.com. And we also have Dean's social media handles on there. And you also have a freebie for us, so a free gift for the audiences. And I want you to listen, everyone, because it's a different link. It will also be on the show notes. So head over to christinemeansbusiness.com/blog and just click on this episode and you will have it there. But if you can't wait, it's systemizein5.com. So systemize in 5, all spelled out.com/systemize -course. Now, what exactly will they get when they head over there?
So yeah, so if they actually just go to systemizein5.com, you don't even need the systems course ending. Basically, this is a presentation. It's a technically a 5 video series, but 4 video series that I've done for Notre Dame. We work here in Southern California, like all over. We got invited to do this, and it was super successful. But the idea is basically everything that going from not knowing anything about systems to changing your mindset to see that, oh my gosh, if I just did this, if I just do one process, I literally never have to do it again. I have turned my business, at least that portion of my business, into a cash flow asset that works without me, no matter what. From there, you learn literally how we do our video to document. And so you can hire an employee, you can hire someone on Fiverr or whatever to do exactly what we do, so that you can just hop on a Loom video or Snagit or whatever you use, Zoom, show how you do something, get it documented, and never have to do it again. and you'll have that for the rest of your life, until the UI changes on whatever it is, and you have to do it again, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But the goal is, my dream is that everyone can create systems and processes and have a beautiful, awesome business that they enjoy, and it only takes 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
5 minutes, less than it takes to make a cup of coffee. Boom, 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 you're done. And like, I have 8 kids going on 9, and I don't really have to do much work.
Oh,
and
dear.
that's my
It's just like nightmare vision for me, but okay.
if anyone but yeah, if I get to spend all the time with them that I want, and I'd love for people to, whatever their passion is, to be able to do that same thing.
Beautiful. I love it. I think this is awesome. So make sure you grab that offer. So systemize5.com, and all the links will be in the podcast notes, and let them know that you heard about them here on the podcast when you reach out. And thank you so much, Dean, for walking us through this. It's been beautifully specific, and we can now visualize what this actually looks like. So thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Christine. It was awesome.
Beautiful. All right. For all of you guys, if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. If you listen to it on your favorite podcast platform, please subscribe or follow, whatever they say. And then don't forget to also head over to the blog, where you can do everything at once. You can watch us, you can listen to us, and you can read the show notes. So whatever tickles your fancy, we'll have you covered. I hope I'll hear back from you in 2 weeks, where I'll be back with a new guest. Oh, actually, this is airing in end of December. It might be 3 weeks because I'm not working over the holidays. But stay tuned. We will be back with awesome brains and people who can help you to make your business so much better. Talk to you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.